Alexander Lightfoot Manley was one of the most influential black men in all of Wilmington, North Carolina. Born in 1866 in Raleigh, North Carolina, his grandmother Corinne was actually enslaved by Charles Manley, his grandfather, who was also the governor of North Carolina. He was educated at Hampton and HBCU in Virginia, and after he got his degree, he moved to Wilmington, North Carolina. Wilmington was a great place for any black person to be during the Reconstruction period, and my family was actually there at the time. For any business that you could find, there was a white version and a black version, and in certain areas like tailors or barbershops, most of the businesses in the city was actually black owned. William and his brother Frank were owners of the Wilmington Daily Record, one of the only black daily newspapers in all of the country and the black newspaper for the Wilmington area. He was married to Caroline Saguar, a Fisk University graduate and the daughter of one of the most prominent men in all of Wilmington, Frederick C. Saguar. He had went to Lincoln University and learned the trade of carpentry. Then he came back to Wilmington and would teach newly freedmen trades and how to read and write and things like that. Mr. Manley was also a very honest journalist. I don't know if y'all know who Rebecca Felton is. She was the first woman to be a senator in the United States, and she gave a speech on Tybee Island talking about pretty much advocating black men being lynched to protect white women. And Mr. Manley, you know his background, he came from a mixed racial ancestry, and he talked about that pretty much that white women actually go for black men, and not every black man is out here raping y'all, and they wasn't going for it. They printed it in all the other newspapers, and they actually called for him to be lynched. A few months later, in November of 1898, Democrats in Wilmington completed the only successful coup d'etat on American soil in history. After they took over the political power by force, they also burned down the Daily Record building and killed over 100 African people and forced thousands to leave Wilmington, including my own family. Wilmington has never been in a majority black town since then. Even though the Democrats are actually surrounding the city with armed guards, nobody really knew Alex by face, and he had a white friend who gave him a password to get past the guards. Because he was so light-skinned, he was able to pass for white and get out. After being forced out of Wilmington, him and his wife Carolyn moved up to Philadelphia, and he transitioned on October 5th, 1944, leaving behind two sons, Milo and Lewin. Less than 10 original copies of the Daily Record exist to this day, and there's also a compilation of different reprints that other newspapers did of articles from the Daily Record. You can find them all with a simple Google search. Like this video and subscribe to me at The Community Teacher to learn more Black history.